Hi everybody, Susan here. I am at the studio to do this live Zoom yoga class. It's also being recorded, so I will post. Hopefully it worked the last time. I think I figured out how to download the link to the class. So I will try that again later this evening so you can have it during the week. Today's class, we'll start on the mat. We're going to work on hamstrings, sort of activating them, isolating them, and then we will use them in a standing posture. So for hamstring work, great if you have a strap. What works really well is a tea towel, because the tea towels are longer and thin, so you can hold with both hands onto your leg. So we will work our hip flexors in preparation, and our hamstrings and some spinal mobility. So hip flexor mobility, hamstring mobility, upper thoracic mobility, I guess. So we will start on the mat. I put on a little bit of music for myself just because it's kind of lonely here. So if you would like to put on music. Also, a block would be great. Something fairly hard, not a pillow for this. A dictionary or another book would be great if you don't have it. We're going to do a thing that looks like this. So something squishy will be too wobbly. I want you to be able to focus on hip mobility, hip stability, more than balance for that one. And then, it might be a step, like your stair, or even a chair, if you feel comfortable with that. The other thing blocks or something block-like would be good for is just to help out with some hip half split action. Because if you don't have flexible hamstrings, which many people do not, you might tend to see how round my back is, right from my low back. If you can have a straight back, especially your low back, it's more beneficial for your hamstrings. So the floor gets brought closer to your arms. That's it. We'll get started on your backs. Have your things handy. Especially have your strap handy at this point. So lie on your back. Constructive resting pose is always a good place to start. This little sunbeam is going to watch over me during the class. That's lovely. So on your backs, feet are down. And just sort of organize, lift things, put them back down, just to see if you can get that straight line from your head to your pubic bone. As straight, what feels straight for you anyway. And try to let your knees sort of relax inward. So it might mean putting your heels wider than your toes at the beginning, just to let your knees freely land. That my knees aren't touching, but I'm not working anything to keep my legs up. They're very relaxed. So one way I use to check in with my spine and my positioning is to just notice all the points that are touching. So there's 4: my feet, the back of my pelvis or my sacral area, the back of my pectorals or my shoulder blade area, mid ribs, and the back of my head. So my neck is not touching. There's quite a big space there, probably 2 hand widths, so that it isn't touching. That's my normal curve. And my low back probably is touching, but it doesn't feel like it is. So just check in, notice if the weight is even in your feet. You're not like pressing more into one side, or one foot is on the outside of the foot, the other one's on the inside of the foot. It's exaggerated, but you know what I mean. So just see that the weight is even in your feet. Notice your toes touching. And then notice the weight in your pelvis. So this is where, for me, I can tell if I need to kind of shift something. And sometimes it's shifting flesh, right? So I notice a lot of us probably have pelvic imbalances just from having dominant sides or injuries or whatever. So this for me is the best way to know if my pelvis is even. If on the two kind of points of my sacrum, so about 2 inches from either side of my spine, those two spots, if they feel evenly weighted, I know I'm doing pretty good. If they don't, I shift flesh. I might lean over to the lighter side or rock my pelvis side to side. We're going to do that in a moment together. And then shoulder blades, again, feel like they're evenly weighted. So again, it might be tucking your shoulder blades under or arranging your arms a different way. And then the back of your head, so you do have those two little bony protuberances, like your occipital bones there, and your head can kind of rest. So they feel even. You know what I mean? Just check in with that. So I start every class pretty much like this. All right. Then let's just take a few moments to just tune into the breath, and then we'll start moving. What do I mean by tune into the breath? I'm going to sit up while you're doing this. So tuning into the breath, noticing where you're breathing without changing anything and without judging anything. So without changing or judging, notice where you're breathing. Notice the quantity and quality of that breath. So take a few moments to notice. Are you breathing through your nose? I would encourage nose breathing because nose breathing signals to our nervous system to relax. If we're out running or weight training or running from a saber-toothed tiger like our ancestors did, we're going to breathe through our mouth. It's a sign that we need more oxygen because there's stress happening in the body, whether it's positive or negative stress. When we breathe through our nose, we're signaling to our nervous system that we're okay and our nervous system can relax. That's what we want in yoga. So always breathing in through the nose. It's a good way to gauge if what you're doing is within your honest range and capabilities. You start breathing through your mouth, it might mean you're pushing a bit too hard, which in yoga, there may be a time and a place for that, absolutely. But generally, we want to nose breathe. Now just check in and see if you're deepening your breath, maybe bringing awareness to breathing in the rib cage and in the low back. So just take a few more deeper breaths now. So consciously, intentionally deepening the breath. And breath may seem like, I don't know, boring or not important, but it's actually a great core wake up. And if we're working something like our hamstring flexibility, we want a calm nervous system. We really, really do. Also, it's trying times, so as much as we can calm our nervous system, the better. Okie dokie. So let's just start moving a little bit. So I'm going to start rocking my pelvis front and back. So I'm rocking so I think about my two hip bones, if you can feel them, the two bony protuberances there. So they're going to rock toward my ribs and they're going to rock away from my ribs. So I'm squishing my low back into the mat and then I'm arching a little more. So I'm really rocking on that sacral area, like a teeter-totter. And I'm not doing it with my glutes. I mean, they're engaging a little bit, but that's not my primary driver here. My primary driver here is actually my core. And I'm barely even really pushing into my feet. So it's really core driven, the front of my body is moving. So this is just getting freedom. So I'm looking for freedom here. That's why I don't want to squeeze things. I want to free things. Okay, now we're going to rock side to side. So my knees aren't moving and my legs aren't really moving, like they're staying where they are, but I'm just tilting one hip bone down and the other one lifts. Tilt one hip bone down. You can even put your fingers on those bony bits. You can feel them now. It might take you a few tries to figure out what you need to engage to make this happen. But it's also, once you get it, it can feel very freeing, and we want a free pelvis because we're going to be moving our hips. So we want free hips. Okay. Let us widen our feet, extend your arms out, and we're just going to windshield wiper. So we're getting freedom in our hips, but we're also now bringing in the quads, the hip flexors, and some spine mobility. So this is nice and also freeing here. So just windshield wiper, trying to keep your shoulders and upper back on the mat. Now I do push it down toward the floor with that, call it the top leg, just to get more stretch in the front of my hip. Okay, once you're evened up, let's bring the legs to tabletop. And then keeping your arms on the floor and keep your shoulders on the floor. We're going to just rock side to side. And I want you to only go to the point where you're not going to tense. So my knee's going to the right. Nothing in my left arm is tensing, or my right shoulder is tensing. So I'm going easy. So nothing in my upper body is engaging to stop me or pull me up. And just notice if you can go further on one side than the other side. So just starting easy. So nothing in my upper body is engaging. A few more like that, and then we'll go to the point where we do have to use our core and our upper body to control. So the next time you go to the right, go as far as you can until your left shoulder wants to leave the mat. And then try the other side. How far can you go till your right shoulder wants to leave the mat? Explore that edge. Really good to explore the edges of our range of motion. Where is it? Is it really there? Can we actually go a little further? So just explore that a few times. Maybe one more each side. That's why it's good to move slow, because it enables us to really explore that edge and how our parts move together. If we're whipping through things, we can't really get that awareness. So let's let our knees fall to the right onto the mat. Okay, now my left shoulder just popped right up. That's totally fine. Let's bring our left arm across to meet the right. So I'm in this little sleepy position here. If you want to put your head on a block, because it's better for your neck, or a little pillow or a towel, absolutely go for it. We're going to be rolling, so we're not going to be in this position. So we've done this before, but take your left arm and reach way past your right. Reach as far as you can, like roll right over. Draw a line on the floor over your head. The biggest arc you can till it's open. And then come right back, same way. So drawing this big rainbow over your head. And we'll just do one more. Make sure you go far to the floor and then reach around. We'll hold it open and extend your left leg out and in. So there's a space between. I'm wearing all black. You might not be able to see that well. I'll remember that next time. So we're just gonna extend and bend. Extend and bend. Maybe one more. And then we'll hold, flex your toes and reach your left arm. Actually reach both arms. So they're an inch off the floor and I'm reaching far away. Reach, reach. Now wiggle the right leg down to kind of straight. and flex your right foot. Okay? Now imprint in your mind your shape, because this is exactly what we're going to do standing up on our right leg balancing. So look, my body parts all work together to make this shape easily on the floor. Passively, pretty passively. Yeah, you can lift and lower your front leg if you want a little extra glute work, for sure. And then just relax it all. Let everything go. Let everything go. Bring yourself back onto your back, and we'll go to the other side. Around. So now your knees fall to the left, and I close my hands together like a little book. Reach long with your right arm, far away from you, and draw that circle. And your head can follow your hand or whatever feels good for you in your neck. I'm blinded by the sunbeam right now, but I'll take it. Okay, we're gonna hold it open. I mean, your right shoulder might not be touching, but that's totally okay. Just as open as you can be. If you need to kind of lift and go sort of more onto your back, it's fine, because you're kind of tucked over this way. Give it a try. Extend the right leg, bend and straighten. My arms and upper body are relaxed for now. I'm looking up, but I could easily look towards my left arm. And we'll hold the leg, flex the right foot. Lift your arms an inch off the floor and reach them wide. Now, wiggle your left leg straight and flex your left foot, and imagine you're standing on the ground on your left foot, and this is the shape we're making. I am engaged my core there, just to kind of support the hip flexor flexion, hip flexion. Squeeze, reach with your arms. If you want to do up and down, go for it. And then just let it all drop. Drop where it may. Drop where it may. And then bring yourself back onto your back. Grab your strap. And just have it near. We'll get to it in a moment. So we're gonna work the right leg first. Left leg is straight or bent or in like half butterfly. And you can definitely like cycle through those as you need. You don't have to stick with one. So we're just gonna hug the right knee in towards the right armpit. I'm switching sides because that sunshine is kind of blinding. There we go. So hug it in, right leg in. And then without your hands, we're gonna hug that knee in like we're squeezing it in with our arms, but we're doing it now with our hip flexors. Squeeze, squeeze. Extend your leg. Bring it down as far as you can till it feels like you can control your low back. So it may not be all the way, and then back in with your knee. So like a one-legged bicycle. And remember, your left leg is somewhere. Your choice. Try them all. See what works. We're gonna reverse it. So squeeze in, and when I say squeeze in, I mean really squeeze. You can't tell. I'm really squeezing my knee. Reverse, and really bring that leg close. So squeeze it in, and then squeeze your knee and extend. Up, squeeze. One more. Now we will put the strap or tea towel or shirt or whatever around your foot and bring it up. All right, so here we are. So have enough length in what you're holding so that your arms are relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. They're like jello. I'm basically hanging. And we're just gonna, and this, remember, leg can be, left leg could be anywhere. We're gonna hold here for about 45 seconds. So let your belly go. You're really trying to straighten your leg here. Just breathe and hold. So what I want this, so this hold is signaling to your nervous system that your leg is straight, your hamstrings are straight, or your leg is extended, and nothing bad is happening. So your nervous system needs a little bit of time to believe you. It needs a little bit of time to just adjust to the fact that nothing bad is happening to your hamstrings, especially if you have really tight hamstrings. I mean, you stand on your leg, you sit with your legs out, your hamstrings can do it. So it's our nervous system that is usually the obstacle and not the muscle. Okay, so now I'm gonna push my leg away from me, but I'm holding it, so now I'm fully engaged. An active stretch here. So push, I'm trying to release my foot to the ground, but I'm holding really tight with the straps. For 4, 3, 2, 1, release, and see if you can pull a little closer. From wherever you land, see if you can straighten your knee. Maybe it means backing up a couple inches, and then do it again. So really hard, like 60 to 70%, 80% max pressure here. 4, 3, 2, 1, release. See if you can get a little closer, a little straighter. One more time, push away, push, push. 4, 3, 2, 1, and see if you can get a little straighter. Hold there. Relax your arms. And then from there, just holding on, I'm just rotating my hip in my socket. So I'm not moving my ankle, I'm not moving my knee. They're moving with my hip ball in its socket. So I'm just externally rotating, internally rotating, externally rotating, internally rotating, right inside my hip socket. We're getting some, good activation in your hip capsule there. Okay, we will release that one. Lowering it down to the floor, give it a little shake along the way, and we'll do just a little windshield wiper. Notice that right side feels different. Maybe a little looser than the left, hopefully. Okay, back up. We'll do the other side, so no strap at first. Remember, right leg has many options. Left knee in, we will hold it at first, so hold the left knee towards the armpit. Trying to keep the right hip down, or it's bent, or it's in half butterfly, really anywhere. Then we will let go, but see if you can keep the knee as close in as it is when you're holding it. Cool. So squeeze. Yep, it's hard. It's not easy. That's hard. And we'll extend and lower, engage your core, keep your low back. So you're basically bracing your belly. Like as if somebody is about to come and punch you. That's the kind of bracing that happens here. And in, so really squeeze in, and then we'll reverse. So long, up, pull it in, knee, squeeze, push. One more. One more in, put your strap on. And again, remember, right leg anywhere, hold on. So take the length you need so that you can just hang your arms. So if it's up too high, my shoulders are up and that's not so comfortable, it's all right. But if I lower it down, now my shoulders are right on the ground and it feels good. So we're gonna hold with a straight leg. We did about a minute on the other side, so we'll do a minute. My foot is relaxed. Breathe, think about your hamstring, think about breath going to your hamstring, and relax everything else, belly, other leg, arms, breathing through your nose. Remember, we're signaling here to our nervous system that it's all good. We have about 15 more seconds. If your knee is not straight, that's okay. You just do to the max you can. Okay, so now we make it active. So you're gonna push your foot. So my foot's going like up to the ceiling and down away from me. And I'm holding it close for 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Maybe pull a little closer. There, or a little bit back. Squeeze your leg, push it away. 4, 3, 2, 1, pull it in. Maybe it doesn't come any closer, but maybe it just feels straighter. One more time. All you got. Push, push, push. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. And then release the tension and just do the little rotation. External, internal. So my ankle, my knee, it's all moving as one big unit. Only the ball is turning in the socket. How much external rotation do you have and how much internal rotation do you have? We're going to play with that a little bit in another position. Okay, release. Give it a little kick and bring it down. And then windshield wiper just to check it out. Okie dokie. Let's sit up. And we're just going to work on hip flexors a little bit. This is not entirely pleasant. You can sit on a block, but it's going to make it quite a bit easier. If you need to raise, if this isn't comfortable, sit like this. Maybe roll up a little towel, roll up your mat, put a little something under there, but probably not something as high as a block. I'm going to put the block between my feet. Like this. Okay. Actually, you may not need to sit on anything because we're actually going to bring our hands behind us. So my hands are behind. And I just take this shirt off so you can see my back better. Okay, so of course I wore loose things today. All right, so I don't want this happening at any time, okay? That's a rounded back, especially the low back. I want to be straight up from my hip bones. So my arms here, shoulders back and down. It's pretty anchored. I'm pretty anchored in this position. That's what you want. If you need to go back a bit to stay straight, do that. Anything to avoid a rounded low back. All right, just because we want our hip flexors to do all the work here. No back. So we're going to start with the right leg. So I'm going to lift it up and over my block. And I'm doing it as still as I can. So I'm not going like back and up. I'm not doing that. I'm pushing myself to just lift. Okay, and you know what? If the block is too much and you're going like a centimeter, then you go a centimeter. You're going to just be up and down. Okay, so we're going. We're going to go a few more. I just like the block because it just sort of gives you a goal, like a task. I got to get up and over there, but I got to stay straight. So you're really doing this from the hip flexor. You may start feeling your quad, totally normal. So it may start feeling crampy, painful. You may start to sweat. That's okay. It's hard. This is painful and hard. We need to strengthen our hip flexors. Believe it or not, most of us have really weak hip flexors. Just because you sit all day means you might have tight hip flexors, but not strong hip flexors. Let's just do 2 more. All right, so we're going to shake that one out. Ooh, other side. So arrange on your sit bones. You've got your straight back. Really hard would be no sitting or no hands, but not doing this, right? So I'm not rocking back to make it happen. I've got to stay up. And maybe I only go an inch. So for me, if I had a block there, I probably wouldn't be able to clear it. So I'm going to stick with this, and I'm going to stick with this. So yeah, like I was just saying, if you sit all day, you may have tight hamstrings, but it doesn't mean you have strong hamstrings. And a lot of yoga and movement is all about, oh, we got to stretch the hamstrings. We got to stretch the hamstrings. Turns out modern movement science says we got to strengthen our hamstrings. You can have very flexible hamstrings and very weak hamstrings at the same time. So it's good to be flexible and strong. That's the goal. Okay, let's just do 3 more. You might find lifting up in your core helps. Oh, I think I got 1 more in me. Whew. Okay, shake that out. Okay, that's the worst part. Worst part of class. Okay. 1 more thing, and then we'll stand up. So I would invite you to have your 2 blocks if you have them. A couch or stool would work here if you can hang on to it. Or tented fingers maybe. But we're going to come into this long lunge. And we're just going to flow between or tick-tock between coming forward. So my heel is on the ground. My knee goes as far as it goes. That's as far as my knee goes. And then back into a half split. So this is that part where it's really good if you can maintain a straight low back. So that's where the blocks can really, really help. So we're trying to straighten that leg. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten. We'll hold this one. So I have a straight knee. We're going to come to the right. Okay. And just do that little internal, external rotation from the hip. It might be really small. Just notice you're probably not getting a lot of internal rotation from this side. We'll go to the other side. So if my foot is 12 o'clock, I'm at about 10 o'clock over here. And do the rotation again. Now you're probably getting a little more internal. And then to the middle. Same internal, externals. Right from that hip joint. Okay, we'll do the other side. Low lunge. Have a nice stretch. Yes, stretch that hamstring or hip flexor. And back, forward, back, forward. If you have a stool and it's on the side of you, that can help. If you want to do no arms or like no holding and you just balance it, totally good. It's all good. The next time you're back, we'll hold. So adjust as necessary. Like if you're super flexible, you might have your leg further out. Flat back here. So if you were to cat-cow, you would know. So if I cat, there's barely any tension here. If I cow, you can start to feel when the hamstrings stretch out. Okay, let's go over to the left. And let's externally and internally rotate. So you're probably getting more external than internal here. We'll go to the 2 o'clock. Now you're probably getting more internal rotation than you did. And the center. Okay, let's make your way to standing. So I'm going to stand on my thing. If you have your book or a stair, we'll do the right leg. So my right foot is on the block. If your whole foot doesn't fit on your block, make sure your heel is on and your toes can be off the front a little bit. Okay, so you can touch your left toes down, test the waters. So what we want to do here is with a free left foot, free left leg, this side's really heavy, left is heavy, aiming for gravity. And only the right hip and inner thigh are lifting you. So I'm not doing any oblique work here. This is not a left side work. This is a right hip stability. So my left hip lowers and my right inner thigh and hip lift me up. So it's like a little hip lilt. Down and up. And again, test those limits. How far can I tilt out? Trying not to engage my abdominal muscles, my obliques specifically. So it should, like my hip is getting tired now. I can feel the fatigue in my hip. So I'm working on stabilizing these. Let's switch sides. Left foot on, right toes touch. This is not, shouldn't be really a balance exercise. I should have said this earlier. So please hold a chair or a dowel or a wall because you want to really focus on the left hip. If you're wobbling and balancing around, you're not stabilizing just your hip anymore. You're working on your feet, where your body is in space. So it's going to take away from what's happening here. So again, the right side is dead weight, and you're really letting your left do all the work. Down and up. So just really seeing if you can isolate it to the left hip and even your inner thigh to pull you up. So I'm starting to feel the fatigue in this side. And you want to also make sure you're at no point starting to arch your back as it's getting hard. Keep a little pelvic tilt forward. Oh, maybe that made it a whole lot harder. It just did for me. Okay, let's stop that. Okay, have your strap or tea towel handy. We're gonna get into our standing posture. Before we do, let's just ground our feet. Lift your toes, spread your toes, and put your toes back down. Let's just lift up onto our toes and rock back on our heels. Toes, heels. So we're just sort of signaling to the brain that we have feet and that we need to call on them now. So feel all the contact with the floor, maybe outside, inside. So knife edge of your feet, inner part of your feet. Now signaling also that your ankles are part of your balance structure. Okie dokie. We'll take one deep breath in. We're gonna forward fold over bent knees just to have a moment here. Take a breath, dangle, be heavy. And roll yourself up, grounding your feet. Look at them as you come up, ground your feet. And we'll come on to our right leg is straight and strong. So we were on our right block. This was straight and strong and engaged and stabilizing us. Now it's here for us. We'll bring the left knee up, extend the left leg, bring it down. Left knee up, extend, bring it down. So just like we were doing lying down, lift, extend and down, lift, extend and down, lift, take your strap on your foot or your tea towel, bring it out, aha. Hold on there, just hold there, see, test the waters. Test where your hips are. See where your shoulders are. So you want your head over your pelvis. You don't want to be leaning forward, you don't want to be arching back. Okay, take the strap in your left hand and reach your right elbow back. Maybe you stay looking forward. Maybe you can bring your head with your hand and bring it forward. Take the strap in your right hand. Left elbow goes back. Maybe you stay looking forward, or your eyes follow your hand, which opens up. We'll hold. Your right foot is grounded. Your right leg is straight and strong. We've been here before. We can do it again. And release. And release. Give that a shake. Shake it all out. Let's just take a deep breath in. Breathe out, forward fold. We have the other side to do. Hang down, bend your knees, drape yourself over your legs. Have a breath. Roll yourself up. Left side, toes are gripped, foot is strong, leg is strong. You got this. Left knee up, extend, and down. Squeeze the knee, extend the leg, and down. You know, and it might be down here, and that's totally great. Anything is good, any level. This is not a performance, this is your body. We'll strap it. Strap or towel. There we go. So just check in. How are we? It might even be really good to be leaning on a wall. If the balance is just too crazy, lean on a wall. There's no harm in it. So we're going to take the strap in the right hand. And we're going to lead with the elbow back. Eyes are forward or they follow. So test that side. Switch grip. So now the strap's in left. Right elbow back. Open it up, eyes forward or follow, your choice. And check in, feet, strong leg. Oh, you can wave in the wind. All good. Back to center, release slow, shake it all out. Ooh, baby, that's it. You did it. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out, hang down. Roll up. So we're gonna do it one more time each leg, with or without the strap. You can do what we just did with the strap, or we can try it without the strap. I'm gonna try it without the strap. I actually haven't, so this will be interesting for me. So right toes grip, strong leg. Let's just do knee up, extend out, lower. We will hold it up, extend it out, strap it if you've got it strapped. We're just gonna do left elbow back. Right arm is holding the strap or forward. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return to the front, lower the leg, shake it out. So I'm definitely not going as far or as high, but it's interesting to try it. Left foot, suction, strong. One extend. We'll hold the left up, or hold the right up now. Extend it out, strap it, or not. So hip flexors working. I'm trying to stay tall and not lean back. Left elbow back. Right arm is holding the strap. Sorry, right arm is back, left arm is holding the strap or reaching forward. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Shake it out, breathe in. So stand a little, feet are a little wider apart, knees are bent, and just flop over. Think about your head lowering to the ground, and your spine is like elongating. And then we'll just come down to our bums. So if you have a pillow or block or book with a towel on it to make it a little bit softer, have that nearby. I'm gonna come down to the mat. Hug your knees in, rock side to side. So rocking side to side, I love doing it. And now I kind of know why. It's really good for your nervous system. So think about babies, and they're, you know, we call this happy baby for a reason. Looks like happy baby. Any of these rocking movements are really primal, really good for your nervous system. Okay, let's slow it down. Plant your feet. We're going to take the thing. In my case, it's a block. In your case, it might be a book with a towel or a rolled up towel. We're going to put it under your sacrum. So it should be on the flat part of your spine, the part that's fused together with your tailbone. So it should not be on your low back. If it's on your low back, it's going to arch you, and you don't want that. You may need to adjust. So I'm going to do one leg at a time. So if it feels pinchy in your low back, try and lower it a bit more towards your feet. And you should find a spot where you get a stretch here in your hip flexor, but not your low back. Keeping your other knee bent will really help. If you know yourself and you know you're okay to do both, and you like to just hang out here, by all means go for it. My low back does not love this, so I'm doing one leg at a time. And yeah, your arms can be overhead or down or on, whatever works. This one, a little opening. We won't stay for too long. And we'll switch sides if you're doing one leg at a time. Just a couple more breaths. And then while we have this thing under the spot, it puts us in a really good position to just check in with some waterfall. Check out, I should say, with some waterfall. So I bring my knees right in, and it rounds my low back. It feels so good. So my sort of SI joint area is, I feel the ridge of the block in there, and that actually feels really good. From there, let's just extend our legs up. So my knees are bent, definitely. Find that little angle where it feels most effortless. Your legs can be apart, so they're kind of over your hip sockets, or maybe touching your toes can sort of bring some stability to this. You want to find some combination, feels most effortless, like you could hang out there without anything moving. So nothing really is working here to keep my legs up. They're just hanging. If you want to put your feet up a wall, or even like on a chair or something, that's good too. I just find it, I don't love getting in and out of feet up wall. I just find it kind of a lot of work. So really think about the space between your hip bones now, because your low back is free. You can really hammock everything. So all your guts are sinking down towards the floor, and all your abdominal muscles sink with them. It's a very restful pose for your abdomen. And you can come out of this at any time, or you can stay till the very end, which is only a few more minutes. If you're going to come down, I would suggest bringing your knees in and then bring one foot down at a time and hang out, remove the block and hang out there for a moment, just to let the blood come back. Or you can stay up for another minute. A few more seconds. Again, come out at any time and just bring yourself to some kind of resting pose. So it's either like we start with our knees bent, or straight out Shavasana, or come to sitting, or lie on your belly, or lie on your side, or anything else I've forgotten. Anything works. So feet on the floor, pushing your feet a little bit, remove your thing, and just hang out for a moment. And when you're ready, you can roll over to the side, hang out there for as long as you want, come to sitting, whatever works. I hope that you enjoyed the class. I would love to know if any of you did the recording, and if you have any requests or thoughts, ideas for classes. I'm here for you. I hope you're all doing well. I know it's a tough time. We'll get through it. Have a great week, you guys. Bye. Thank you.